Hey guys, Will with Fit Dad Fam here. I want to do a short video on Weight Watchers. I'm going to do an intro. It's basically going to go through the pros, the cons, and then just basically an intro. This is going to be the intro, obviously. Basically, with Weight Watchers, just to kind of start you guys off, it's basically a program where you're held accountable every week. You go to weekly meetings and you basically talk about your strengths, your weaknesses, things you went through for the week, and you basically talk about how basically how you did. You track everything. You track how you eat. You track. It's basically points is what they call it. Calories translates to points. It's really just an easier way to count calories. And when you count calories, you basically, certain foods are like 0 points. There's things like, 0 point foods like fruits and vegetables. There's like certain types of proteins or zero vegetables, but basically you want to stay in your points that they give you. With Weight Watchers, I really liked it. I started out, I had a lot more. I relied on it a lot more in the very beginning than I did towards the end of my weight loss. I stopped and just basically started doing my own thing. But it was definitely something that was helpful to start off with. It held me accountable. It kept my momentum going in the very beginning when it was really hard, because I was really trying to avoid getting injured. I didn't get injured, but it helped me not get injured. It helped me basically have a routine every week. So that was really cool. You get a fitness, not really fitness, you get a wellness coach, and they basically, depending on who you have, everyone's different, but our wellness coach was really great. She was really motivating. She really took it. She really motivated a lot of us. And you'll have people in the meetings, they'll talk about their strategies, what helps them through the week and what they do. And there's certain people that talk a lot. There's some people that don't. You don't have to talk at all if you don't want to, but it's just nice to, sit down with a bunch of people that are, we're all trying to just lose weight and get in better shape, and we all kind of have the same goal. So it's nice to break bread with some people that have similar interests as you. Basically, with Weight Watchers, there's definitely pros and cons, like I said, but for the most part, I think it's a great program as long as you're willing to hold yourself accountable. Go to the meetings. Don't just go once a month, or you're paying for it. You need to show up every week, and you need to make sure to get on the scale every week. There's you have the option to not go. You have the option to not get on the scale, but if you're doing that, there's really no point of saying you're committed to it, because you got to get on the scale and see where you're at. And some people, I know, they get anxiety about it, but most of the time it's not as bad as you think. And as long as you're getting on the scale, you at least know, you can tell yourself, okay, I had a rough week. I could have did these things better. Now next week I'm going to basically change these things. And I liken it to, the example I liken it to is if you were assigned to build a project, build a robot or a bridge or something, and you didn't measure anything at all, and you just started throwing stuff together, and then you ended up with your end result, and your end result, the robot didn't work or the bridge collapsed, and your boss came to you and said, hey, what happened? Why did it not work out? And you're sitting there saying, oh, I don't know. I didn't. Well, did you measure your parts? Did you use the right parts? Did you measure your did you measure the length of the bridge? Did you measure the length of the bridge? And you're saying to your boss, no, I didn't. Well, what happened there. You didn't check anything. And to relate that to Weight Watchers, if you're not tracking, or if you're not going to the meetings and you're not following the program, and then you go to the meeting, you're like, oh, I gained 2 pounds this week. Well, you don't really know what happened besides the fact that you didn't track, because you didn't see how much you ate. You didn't track anything to know, okay, well, I ate way over my points. I didn't stay in my point goal, or I didn't work out at all. I mean, you can probably remember if you did or not. if you did or didn't work out. But as far as everything else goes, you're not necessarily going to know if you don't track. Another example would be if you were going to bake a dessert and you didn't measure any ingredients and you just threw them all in there, and then your dessert tasted awful. Again, you didn't measure anything. It's like with Weight Watchers, if you don't track, you're not going to know. And from my experience, the majority of the people there, that was their main issue, was they would just always forget to track. And nowadays that we have smartphones, and back in the day when we didn't, it was a lot harder to track because you had to sit down and write stuff down. Nowadays you just get on the app and you just get on there and you just put everything in, and it just tracks everything. It's really organized and easy to navigate. So it's as easy as it ever was, it's easier than it ever was now. So like I said, I want to keep this brief, but basically I'll just say that Weight Watchers, for the most part, I think is a good program. It helped me more in the beginning than it did in the end, because I kind of started developing my own strategies that I, for myself, from doing research. But I think it's a great starting point for most people. I had some people that I convinced to join, and some of them didn't necessarily benefit as much. So it really just depends on the person. So when we do the next video, I'll talk about that again. We'll do pros, we'll do cons, and then you can really make a decision whether or not you think it's something for you. Because it's not for everyone, but I think it's definitely a good starting point if you're looking at starting a wellness fitness program. It's definitely a good group to join as far as accountability, and a place where you can organize how you eat and do everything, keep your stuff organized. And there's a cool bonus at the end of the program. If you reach your fitness goal, your weight loss goal, basically, you can get the program for free and still be able to go to meetings. So you can get lifetime accountability for your weight. So that's a cool benefit too. So basically, that's just my short intro on it. We'll go through it more, but basically I think it's a great program. There are definitely some cons, and I'll go over those. But for the most part, I think it's a good program, as long as you make sure to not make your whole life about it, and just make it as a tool. Use it as a tool to help you on your journey, and create your own, make it part of your system, because we're all different. We all have to tailor our fitness and weight loss to our individual body, because we're all different. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. So basically, that's just my take on it. We'll go into it more. I'm excited to talk about a lot of the different things that I experienced during it, the pros and cons, and we'll go through that, and then you guys can make a decision as far as what you think. So hope you guys are having a great week, and we'll get together. We'll talk again soon.